All right, so stay with me. Anywhere from like 23% to 30% of American families with children in the house under the age of 18 are led by single parents. And most of them, we talk about anywhere from 15 to 16 million of those families are led by single mothers. And you could obviously break it down even further if you want to go into depth as far as race, because obviously some have a higher stat than others. But point blank, at the end of the day, chances are the older you get, you're going to end up meeting somebody that already has a kid. Case in point, I remember when I first moved to Texas from California, I was just about to turn 21. I was working in this call center and some cubicles. I was working with nothing but women. And then all of them asked me one day my name, if I was single, and then how many kids you got? Literally, that was like the third question. How many kids you got? And I was so like off-put by that question because I'm like, I'm 21. Why the hell do I have kids? Why would somebody just straight up ask me how many kids I got? And I honestly thought that was so weird. I was so thrown off with that question, how many kids I got? And I answered them laughing like, none, I ain't got no kids. What y'all even talking about? Well, come to find out, I lived some life. You know what I'm saying? I went in some relationships. I ended up getting married. I ended up getting divorced. I lived some damn life. And years later, I get it now. How many kids you got? Sadly enough, that's like one of the main questions we ask now on a first date, because the chances of you meeting somebody the older you get that doesn't have kids is slim to none.
I have 10.
Now, when I first got married, she didn't have any kids, so we started a family together. But as soon as I got divorced, literally everybody I met, and I was only in my 20s, I was like 26, 27. Everybody from there on out already had kids, whether it was 2 or 1. Most of them at the time, it was just 1, but literally, y'all, I'm talking about like 98%. Then fast forward, here we are to this day, 2026. I myself am a step parent. I've been one for like the last 13 years. I met my wife, we hit it off. You know, I knew I was crazy about her. She had a son who had a dad, and that was rough. I mean, it was rough. We'll get into that in a second. But I've been a step parent. I've been his stepdad for the last 13 years. I met him when he was a youngin'. Now he's about to be 22 years old. And I look at him like he's my actual son. Like, it's been one of the biggest blessings, biggest relationships that I've ever had. Which is one of the main reasons also why I wanted to make this video, is because I was looking up perspectives on stepdad. You can do it. Look up how to be a stepdad, should I be a stepdad, whatever stepdad or step parent on YouTube. 90% of them are gonna be from people shitting on step parents or saying it's thankless, it's not worthless. I mean, it's not worth it. I'll be reading the comments and literally everybody's telling them it was not worth it. I was miserable. You should run. Don't do it. Don't be a step parent because it's hell. And I gotta say, man, I'm just talking to the fellas because all of this that I'm referring to were men making these videos and making these comments. I gotta say from the bottom of my heart, and I'm just trying to be real, y'all sound like some bitches. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Y'all sound like some jaded ass bitches. In the comments, in the videos, everybody's talking about women emotional this, women irrational that. And I'm not trying to, oh, I'm a feminist or anything like that. No, nothing like that. I'm just trying to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like from all the men that are making these comments and they're making these videos, they're speaking from damage. They're speaking from this relationship trauma, or they're jaded. Then they instantly, what am I gonna do with this? Oh, let me make a video and tell everybody this is some bullshit. Don't be a stepdad because it's thankless. Your life's gonna be miserable. It was for me. I saw one where he was like, I've never seen it work. I have never seen it work. I'm like, well, where are you looking? I've seen, hell, I'm a stepdad. My sister is a stepmom, and then my brother is a stepdad as well. He was married. Unfortunately, his marriage didn't work. But to this day, he still has a relationship with them kids because they meant so much to him and vice versa. I don't like when people create content or just agendas or whatever and put everything in a box. Because my life was this way, because I saw it this way or felt it this way, here's what it is. It's in a box, right? So this is what it is for everybody else. Because I experienced this, it has to be this way for you. And that's why I call bullshit. That's why I was like, that's a bitch mentality. And I know I'm not taking a shot at women or anything like that. I'm just saying it just displays to me such insecurity. And no, I'm not on the other hand saying it's amazing. Not at all. I'm not here to say, oh, they're bitches and you should do it. Everybody should do it because it's the most beautiful. No, I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is whether you decide, or if you don't decide, you just find yourself in that position one day that you're a step parent or not, that's up to you. because nobody could really tell you if it's gonna work or not. Hell, a relationship without kids might not work. What do they say? It's 50-50 for marriages? So nobody really knows what's gonna work and what's not. It might be the best thing to ever happen to you, or it might be the worst thing to ever happen to you. Y'all seen my videos. I talk about how my first marriage didn't work. And long story short, I've been married 3 times. This right here is technically my 3rd marriage. My love life did not start working until this relationship right here. With my first one, we ended it, I ended it with 2 children. We created a family together. That was my first big relationship, my first marriage. Unfortunately, it didn't work. We had 2 kids together. So I went through the rest of my life, starting like at 25, 26, as a single parent with 2 kids. So it was hard for me because I didn't know who was gonna accept me, which woman would wanna be with a guy like me, you know, not a steady income, off and on, living with my parents, being a stand-up comedian sometime, you know what I'm saying, with 2 kids. So I felt a lot of pressure, but at the same time, a lot of the women I was meeting were also single parents kind of going through their own stuff. And I've been and seen all of them. I have. I've been in the ones where they had a crazy ass baby daddy. I've been in the ones where the baby daddy wasn't existent, you know what I'm saying? I've been in the ones where it almost seemed like they were still in love with the baby daddy. You know, there was like a weird dynamic. I was like, no, there's too much here, I gotta bounce. I've even been in the ones, let me know if y'all could relate, where you actually like the kids and you bond with the family, but you're not working with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I love actually the kids. The kids is great, but you crazy. Which DNA did you get? Because I'm not vibing with you. You seem to be the only one. And then the relationship ends, you have to leave. And now sadly, you gotta say goodbye to these babies or the family. Like, man, y'all was cool. I really wish I could have made it work because y'all was actually cool. It's your mama. I gotta tell you, your mama's something else. So I know it's hard overall to make it work. And I'm not the one just here rooting for you saying, yeah, be a step parent. It's super rewarding. No, I'm not saying that at all. A lot of these people that are speaking negatively and saying it never works and all that, I understand where they're coming from. I really do. But to be so close-minded that you're like, this is it. Nope, I know definitely it never works. Definitely it's shit. And that's a lot of the content. That's what I'm like, no, definitely? What are we even talking about? Definitely, like the world is just what you know? What are we talking about? In my particular case, when I ended up with this relationship, I knew that she had a kid. It kind of worked in the beginning because he at the time was the same age as my kids. So they blended together fairly easy. The reason why it was super hard is because his dad at the time, and I won't give too much information because it's really not my business to put out in the YouTube world, but his dad at the time was going through some stuff. I think he was incarcerated at a time. I don't really know the reason why. There was some stuff. So there was some time where he wasn't there, and there was some time where he was there and it wasn't so friendly. And then also, my stepson at the time, undiagnosed, but I done had a lot of parent-teacher conferences and my own personal experience. Probably had the ADHD, the ADD, all the A's and all the D's. So yeah, everything in the book, this boy was bouncing off the wall, always getting in trouble when he was a kid. It was a lot, right? It was so much to the point where I'm like a brand new parent. I felt uncomfortable like disciplining him because I just got here, right? So I'm like, I don't really know what the rules are for this. I know how I would feel if somebody were to do that to my kids. Now, granted, you got to think about it too. It's a crazy ass circle. My kids were with their mom the majority of the time. I had like joint custody, but their mom is constantly meeting new people. They had one guy in their life at a time that they kind of considered him a stepdad. So you got one guy kind of being a step parent to my kids, and I'm being a step parent to somebody else's kids. It's a crazy ass circle. It really is. So I'm just kind of taking that into consideration. Like, I know how I would want somebody to treat my kids. So let me try to pass that respect on over here. Even though I don't really know the baby daddy like that, I'm still, as a man, trying my best to pass on this respect to this young man. And then every now and then his mom, my girlfriend at the time, right, my wife now, she would tell me, please step up. She wanted to help. She was like, he needs a man in his life. He needs discipline. So don't be afraid to put it down. Don't be afraid to get that punishment, you know, and if ever leads to a real punishment, like a spanking or something like that. And then that's where it got really awkward for me. Because, you know, I grew up old school, so I grew up with spankings and all that stuff, right? But once again, this is not necessarily my kid. So I just felt this weird boundary kind of thing. And then also he was testing my ass Oh, he was testing my ass. So it was this whole thing. And it got to the point with all this, plus baby daddy, where I actually thought one time, like, I don't think this is gonna work. This is a lot. This is stressful as shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I was crazy about her though. I was so crazy about her and I knew I wanted to be with her, but I didn't know, just me as an individual at this point in my life, if I could take it. I honestly didn't. So there was a bunch of times where I thought I might need to call it, you know what I'm saying? Throw the flag, blow the whistle, whatever, because this is a little much. And I don't know if it was me just being, you know, ignorant or hopeless romantic or whatever. Something in me just said, keep going a little further. Just keep going a little further and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Keep going a little further, because there was a part of me that was like resistant in a way, to where I started looking at myself like, you know, you do have kids. So you know how to care about somebody more than you do yourself. You know what that automatic connection is, you know, because that's one of the hardest parts about being a step parent is, for one, you don't have that automatic connection with them. They look at you like a stranger. You have to build that. You have to manufacture that DNA, that blood relation, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not automatically there. And then you're the adult in the situation. They're a kid. 9 times out of 10, whether they're a teenager or a toddler or whatever, they're a kid. So it's up to us to take this high road and try to manufacture this stuff till I guess it becomes real, because they technically don't know any better. Something just kept telling me, push a little harder. Just keep going a little further and do some diving into how you think, because there was something in my mind that was also refusing that connection. I didn't see it at first. Maybe I was just being ignorant and stubborn as a young man, but I was like, I didn't really know what it meant to be a step parent. And the more I looked at my kids, I was finally to be like, oh, this is what I need to do. I actually need to look at this young man the same way I look at my son. So there would be times that he needed something or asked for something, whatever. And my first thought would always go to, would I do it for Chris? My son, right? Well, would I do it for him? And every time was yes. Every time I knew I would do anything. There's nothing I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And most of it with a smile on my face. So I said, if you're going to do this for him, you do this for this child. He is under your guardianship right now. You are loving his mom. He knows nothing from nothing. He didn't ask for any of this. But right now you are on that role. And at the time, technically, I wasn't stepdad. I was step-boyfriend or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? But I was the adult. I was the man in the situation. So the more I changed my mind to what I'm doing for my blood, I do for this kid, everything kind of started falling into place. Now, it still wasn't easy. It still didn't change night and day. No, it was still a work of progress, but it helped a lot. And that's why I say it's not all the same. I can't put it in a box. I can't be the one to tell you that, oh, it's going to be the best thing ever. It might be, but it might not. But once again, that's with love, period. That's with relationships, period. You never really know what you're gonna get. What they say, life is like a box of chocolates, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those chances you take when it comes to love. And going back to what I was saying about one of my sisters that was a single parent, unfortunately her first marriage didn't work, so she was a single mom. She ended up meeting somebody that was a single dad. They got married, did the Brady Bunch thing, and it works. They have 2 boys. They were the same age, so it kind of worked perfectly. Still have a successful marriage, a business, all that to this very day. They took it a step further and adopted a young girl. I think at the time she was like 12 or 13, something like that. And it wasn't peaches and cream, you know what I'm saying? It was like a tough situation because unfortunately that girl was going through a lot. I don't think her dad was in her life. The mom was incarcerated. She was from a tough neck of the woods. So she came to the family with a chip on her shoulder, and it was some stuff. Honestly, it was to the point where even a couple of us in the family, if I'm gonna be real with me, I was like, I don't know if this was the move. This seems hard as hell, to be honest, because it's hard enough to be a step parent, but you're talking about adopting somebody that's kind of grown already? That seems like mission impossible. But see, once again, that's me with my assumptions, with my own experience that I see from my homie that told me a story or the movies or something like that. But my sister did it. She did it to the point where she somehow, that family, that household turned it around, and you wouldn't be able to tell to this day that girl was ever adopted. Oh my God, she fits perfectly. She's a beautiful young lady, going to school, going to church, got a boyfriend that's 13 feet tall. Anyway, that's a different story. What I'm trying to say is, lovely young lady, and it actually worked. She is our family. There's nobody that looks at her. There's nobody in our family that looks at that little girl and is like, oh, she's adopted. Oh, she's yada yada. She only got here on this date. No, everybody literally looks like her. At her, she's our cousin. She's my niece. That's real talk. But I guess that was the big part of the reason I wanted to make this video, to keep it a buck with you, 100%. Like, no, I can't tell you that it's going to be everything that you want it to be. It might be everything that you need it to be, and it might be everything that it can be if you work towards it. I think that's the reality, right? That's life. Life is work. Life is hustle. Life is depression. Life is tears and laughter and ups and downs. It's a lot. Will it work out for me or you or anybody else watching this video? Nobody can know. There's nothing in stone. But what I will say is there's hope in everything. There's knowledge in everything, and there's learning in growth. So leave that decision up to you, because if it does work, it's one of the biggest blessings. To have a child look at you and to literally thank you, for being in their life, telling you with tears in their eyes, or maybe just thank you. Thank you for being a father figure. Thank you for being with my mama. Thank you for taking care of her. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more rewarding. I'm about to cry right now thinking about it. I don't know if there's a bigger satisfaction when you're coming into this life with this child that you never planned to, and now they're looking at you one day like you're a hero in a way. What's better than that? And once again, I can't say that that's going to happen for all of us. But look at it this way. Even if it doesn't, it doesn't. You did your best. You go on to the next. You took a shot. You took a shot at love. You took a shot at stepping up. And then maybe the next time it works out, whether they're single parent or no parent. That's up to y'all. So there it is, beautiful people. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope somebody out there needed to hear this, because I really needed to say it. On this channel, that's all we're doing, is being 100% transparent. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I hope to post another video in about 2 or 3 days. So thank you guys for everything, and as always, I don't know what it is, but I know somehow, some way, it's about to get better. Love y'all, family. Peace.